Can everyone hear me? Good afternoon.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Yes. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Hi, good afternoon. Okay, so shall we wait for some time, 2-3 minutes before we start? I can't see anyone who has joined last time are here. Oindrila is there, of course. Let's wait for 2-3 minutes and then we will start. Is that okay, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sure.
Okay, let's start. Everyone, can we have everyone on the camera, please? And I had requested last time that you all should get a strong network, because if you are coming and attending a class, then it can't be that you are off camera and what is the kind of conversation we are having. So I had requested everyone to get good network when you are attending the class. Can we have everyone on the camera? Mona Lisa, Indrila, Sunil, Deepu, Advani. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. But how do we interact if we don't have all of you on camera? That's my question. Okay. Everyone needs to be on the camera and not just one person. Mona Lisa, Oindrila, are you there? Sunil, Deepu, Sunil, I can see. What about Deepu? All right, let's start. So Sunil and Advani, I would like to understand from you, where are you in the entire talent management? Both of you were not there last time. So want to understand from you your understanding of talent management. What have you learned in the 5 sessions that have happened so far? And what are you expecting?
So basically, from my understanding of talent management was, to be
First of
very honest,
all,
to be very
sorry,
honest,
you could introduce yourself, Advani. Sorry, I'm interrupting you.
yes. So basically, my name is Chandru Advani, and I'm originally from Mumbai, and I live in Goa, and I'm currently working. And as I'm speaking to you right now, I'm traveling. So
Oh,
I work in the travel and tourism hospitality industry, and I've been working since last 19 years in the hospitality industry. And basically, I'm my profile of the job is I'm leading a team of sales team, and my whole idea of doing this ISTD diploma in learning and development is to change my career path from sales to L&D. And basically, I have taken up this challenge upon myself to grow into this position, because I see there's a lot of scope in L&D. So this is my whole gig about trying to do the ISTD diploma in learning and development. It's been very interesting. I've learned a lot. We've done 2 semesters by now. This is our third semester. So, and I've chosen talent management as one of my electives is because in our organization, basically, we have a very huge talent acquisition, which doesn't happen uh, on board, because basically what I do is I'm traveling. I work on the cruise ships, you know, passenger cruise ships. So currently I'm in US. So
you are in
currently I'm in US.
US. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So basically I'm traveling right now. So the thing is, because of the time zone, sometimes it becomes really difficult for me to attend the classes. But never mind, I try my best. So the thing is, in our organization, the talent management per se is, if you talk about from the L&D perspective point of view or the training and development perspective point of view, we are basically more upskilling them, you know, and reskilling them. So that's my understanding of talent management. Is what we're doing is we're basically developing the talent because the talent is out there. So we're just kind of polishing it and nurturing it and developing it and then giving them shape and specializing them into a certain role, you know, for them to be able to perform their job better.
Right.
So this is basically what my understanding of talent management is. As far as the classes that have been conducted by the previous, for the facilitator, to be very frank, I really didn't find any value addition in there, you know. So, but I have been listening to the recordings and trying to trying to grasp as much as I can from that, you know.
Sure.
So that's pretty much what my feedback is on this. Thank you.
Thanks, Advani. And good to know that you are trying to make shift from sales into more of development or HR or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's good to know.
Thank you.
Sunil, if you could introduce yourself.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. So my name is Sunil Tanke. Currently, I'm in Visakhapatnam and I'm working with Pfizer pharmaceutical company.
Okay.
And from my perspective, talent management is something like in a business entity, there are various variables available. And in that, there is one major variable which could impact to the highest of the possibility is a person or a man, which can highly impact and create the best output out of machine material and the machines and mother earth. So man is the most important variable in any business entity. So starting from recruitment, finding the right person, developing the person for that role, and looking towards the competition and toward the future perspective of the organizations, and based on the potential versus performance, talent management enables that individual person professionally and personally to deliver the best possible results in that respective position. Thank you.
Okay, great. Sunil, good to know. So you are in Visakhapatnam, and I am very happy that you are attending the class. And similarly, others who haven't, who were not there last time, Mona Lisa, if you could introduce yourself.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, ma'am. So, myself, Mona Lisa, I'm from basically from Kolkata, and I'm not a born HR person basically. And I started my career in sales and marketing. I had a very, cherished career in sales and marketing. Then I moved to, slowly, gradually moved to human resource, and I have done my master's as well. From in a human resource. And see, basically, my core competency is talent management and mostly in recruitment and talent development. So it's since last 6 years I am in human resource and I'm into manufacturing sectors. And ma'am, what is my understanding? The talent management is something which is starting from talent hiring, starting from recruitment to exit, and it is also covered up the succession planning and also how you can align the company mission, visions and goal with the employee, so that they will also understand the pulse of the companies, and they will also feel that they are growing with the company. So it is kind of mutual benefit, we can say. And the kind of so that they will feel that they are doing the value addition for the company, and there will be the motivations will be retained into them until they will leave the company, even after they leave the companies also. That is called talent management as per my understanding. So thank you so much.
Sure, thanks, Mona Lisa, for introducing. Where are you based, Mona Lisa?
Basically, ma'am, I am from Kolkata, but I was in Chennai for 7 years. So I'm more inclined towards south than my own, than Kolkata.
Okay. All right. So you're in
So
South right now.
I was in Chennai, ma'am, for 7 years. Even if you'll talk about, in my, in future of my life also, I see myself to settle down in South India only rather than being in Kolkata. So that's about me.
Good,
Thank
good. Thanks, Mona Lisa.
you. Thank you.
Biswadeep, are you there?
Yes, madam. Good
Hi.
afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Myself, as last time, just we have just talked to you on that time that I was traveling actually. So my name is Bishwadip Banerjee. Actually,
Yeah, you were there initially, and then we didn't see you after that.
I am from Kolkata actually.
Yeah.
So I have actually the experience in sales and marketing more than 18 years, and right now I'm in the position of regional sales manager in Eastern region. So my thought is to do this talent management or whatever it is. So manage the talent according to the company's expectation or to achieve the goals. So my aim was to learn this particular subject. Actually, absolutely, this is separate from my domain. Actually, wherever right now I am. So my concept is to build my team or create some revenue through the creating the revenues in proper way as per the company's expectations. And obviously, I have some others planning in future. So I thought this is a best part wherever the team can be built and can generate the revenues for the any of the companies or like this. So this is all, ma'am, about myself.
Thank you. Sorry, which organization? I missed the name of the organization.
The name of the organization is Himalaya.
Himalaya. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, we've been having a lot of people from the pharmaceuticals in last several batches. So a lot of people, and I'm very happy that people from this industry are sponsored by organization. I'm sure some of you might have been sponsored by the organization.
For my case, the company is not sponsoring. It's absolutely from my own expenses.
Sure. And good to know that you are,
obviously, with my own interest, obviously.
Yeah. Good to know that you are investing in yourself. But
Yes.
there are organizations which
I believe in that, ma'am. Sometimes, after sometimes, or every for every person itself, they should invest something for their own self to make them improve towards the improvement or whatever you think, ma'am.
Right.
So
Yeah,
what
of
if
course.
it's not sponsored by the organization or that will not be provoked by the other organization or the someone else. So whatever you will do, something you have to do of your own. That's it.
Sure. I agree with you, but at the same time, there are a lot of organizations which are progressive and they invest in their employees.
Yes.
And which is good that, they are in a position to spend on their employees in time before they look for other opportunities. So when they invest in the employees grow, and of course they contribute towards the organization.
Yes.
So we did something last time. Okay, we spent 90 minutes last time, and we covered some part in talent management. Now we have 4 more classes, 4 more lectures to be done, and there is lots that is there in talent management. So right from talent acquisition to talent, of course, starts with talent management. Then there is talent acquisition, talent engagement, attrition, and you have, of course, performance management, succession planning, and you have 9-box grid, all of that. Are there any? So there was one topic that was told to me: 9-box grid is something that people had not understood. Is there anything else that are at the top of your mind? I think what I would suggest, since I come from industry and I have done a whole lot of work in the organizations, I would request you to take good understanding of the processes, or the talent management essence is something that you must understand, and then answering any of the questions is not a problem. So my request to you would not to not focus too much on the questions, but understanding the concept in first place. Yeah, Advani, you want to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted your introduction, ma'am.
Oh yeah, I we did that last time, but for your
madam, can you please pin your video, because your voice is coming from different device.
So
So
I have 2 logged in, so you can see
yeah,
Vandana.
you just pin the video wala desktop or your laptop.
So there is a problem with one of my devices, so which is why the audio is coming from a different. I'm there.
No,
The
I
one who's
understood,
talking
but
to you,
you as a host, you can pin your video so we can see you.
my video is on, Sunil.
Yeah, but system automatically take the device which comes from the voice. So your video is not coming while you speak.
No, that's fine. You can see my video in the panel. That's fine. There is a problem in the audio if of my laptop, and which is why I have logged in from my mobile also. So that's fine, but you can see me on the panel. I think that should not be an issue. I let me focus myself. I can do that.
Sunilji, you can do it off your own itself. You can also just ping to her, ping to madam.
I think today I am not the host.
You are the host, ma'am.
I'm the host, but I'm not able to focus on.
Your audio device is the host.
Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. Let me just. Yeah. Can you see me now?
Yes, ma'am. Good.
Yeah.
That's better.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
better.
Okay. Advani, you were saying something?
Yeah, just
introduction. Okay, introduction. All right. So for your benefit and Sunil's benefit, I think the others had joined last time. My name is Vandana Shejwal. I come with around 25 years of experience in the industry. Have worked in HR for all these years. Okay, so worked in various industries, including pharma, consulting, and after that, it has been only financial services. But within financial services, I have worked with mutual funds, I have worked with NBFC, I have worked with fintech, life insurance, and currently working with HDFC General Insurance, HDFC Ergo General Insurance. So we are 11,000 plus employees in the organization. I take care of talent management, leadership development, and I also would be now focusing on culture and organization development. Of course, we are doing a whole lot of work on culture. For last 2 years that we've tried to create coaching as a culture in the organization. So a lot of work is happening in culture and talent management in the organization. And I have led several interventions which has given good results. So yeah, so that's about myself. I am also a master certified coach, which is level 3 coaching coach of International Coaching Federation. Like you, I have also done my diploma in training and development several years ago. I am MBA in human resources from Nursing Home Institute. What else? Yeah, what else you want to know about me? You could ask me. But yeah, I'm spiritual.
Where are you based?
From which place, ma'am? Basically, oh, I'm
Sorry.
Sorry.
You are
I was
from
gonna ask.
which place, ma'am, of India?
Monalisa, I could not, because two people were speaking.
Native, your native place.
Native.
Yes, ma'am. Native. Your belongs to which place?
Okay, I'm from Maharashtra. I'm a Maharashtrian,
Okay.
but born and brought up here in Mumbai. Always been in Mumbai. But
So
yeah,
which part of Mumbai? Which part of Mumbai are you from?
I am at Kandivali.
Kandivali. Okay. I reside in Malad.
You reside in Malad. Okay, great.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, anything else you would want to know about me?
No, that's about it. Thanks.
So
Thanks, Mike.
I'm passionate about human resources. I'm passionate about the development work that we do in the organization. I'm passionate about the culture part. I'm passionate about the organization development and change management. So we are doing a whole lot of exciting and interesting work in the organization. And of course, in all the organizations that I have worked so far. So, yeah, unfortunately,
Can I
it
ask something?
happens. Yeah, let me finish. Who was that? My request to you would be not to interrupt. Many of you tend to interrupt in between. If you could just, when someone is speaking, you may allow that person to speak and then say whatever you have to say. So that will just help us smooth communication, so that there are no gaps. Yeah, now I lost the track. What was I saying? Yeah, so I feel if you have a lot of people do certain courses for the sake of doing it, and sometimes may not know, except people who have who have really thought about this and really want to make something out of this. But there are many who still are unsure about why are we doing what we are doing. My request to you would be to, now that you are in this and you are investing time, energy, effort, give your 100% and understand the concepts, understand the subject. That will help you. Exam is just the final thing, right? The destination, or I mean, not the destination really, but that's just one of the things that will happen in the entire process. But if you understand the subject itself, the concept itself, I think everything else will become uh, very, very easy for you. Otherwise, it will be just one topic and the second topic and the third topic and the fourth topic. If you understand the crux essence of talent management, then everything else becomes very easy. Right? Does that make sense? Yeah. Now you may speak. Whoever was asking. Yeah, Oindrila, Oindrila or Mona Lisa, one of you were asking something. Am I audible?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
That somebody was asking, and then now I'm not sure. Okay. All right. So, are there any topics that are on the top of your mind, and you've been taught most of the topics? Do you want to just do a revision, quick revision of the concepts? That's also something that we could do, and then probably some case studies we can look at, so that your there is further clarity of the concept.
Yeah, sure, we can do that, ma'am. Definitely. The concepts would be helpful.
All right.
From the first module, you can start, madam. If you
Module wise.
for the revision, then you can start from the first module. No issue.
So the first is the talent management itself. The basics. The book talks about the talent management itself. What is talent management? The framework, the essentials, strategy, all of that. While there are various components of talent management, right, from talent acquisition to engagement to attrition and succession planning and all of that. What is important is to understand is that why are we doing this, right? Why do we do talent acquisition properly? Why do you invest in succession planning? Whatever we are doing within human resources, why do we do that in first place? I think it's important to understand that. Sunil gave some definition. I think his understanding is quite good in terms of what he perceives of talent management. But many times we lack the one is the theoretical part, and also how do we all put all these pieces together? Talent acquisition, engagement, succession planning, everything else. How do we put all these pieces together? Talent management framework gives us that pictorial view, the visual view nicely. But in the reality, is it so easy? It's not easy, right? It's not easy. I mean, easier said than done. It's very easy for us to draw that entire framework on a piece of paper. But do we really understand how difficult, how challenging it could be to make sure that the acquisition is happening properly, to make sure that we are engaging with employees properly, we are making sure that we have succession pipeline in place, and everything else. How do we make sure that it happens properly? And in the end, what are we trying to achieve? So one is, of course, the smooth functioning of the HR operations. Right? That's one of the objectives, making sure that as a function, as an ecosystem, we run functions smoothly. So human resources, I feel, is a very, very important system in the organization. And within that, around that system, there are various other systems that are running. And how does this entire thing work well in the entire ecosystem of the organization? That's the major objective of talent management. You will not find this definition anywhere else, but it's very important for us to understand why talent management. And some people may say that, why use the word talent management? So I'm not a big fan of the word, but uh, for all practical purposes, it is there, we are now accepting the fact that talent management is one of the important subsystems or a sub-function within human resources. Earlier, it was called personnel management, then came human resources, and now we have talent management. But talent management is a part of human resources, right? Some people may say talent, then why do we call it talent in first? So there can be all a lot of people may discuss in a different manner, but what is important is managing the workforce, managing the manpower of the organization well, to make sure that they deliver what they're supposed to deliver, and in turn the organization delivers what it is supposed to deliver. Okay, organization exists. I feel that the organization exists. Most of the organizations exist for profit. I said this in my last class also, that the uh, organization exists for profit. Very few organizations are there for non-profit, right? There are voluntary organizations and NGOs, but other than that, most of the organizations are done for profit. Of course, they do a lot of CSR work, lot of voluntary work, right? They donate to various NGOs and stuff like that. But primary objective is to make sure that the shareholders earn money. Now, for it to make sure that they do that, it is important that the employees in the organization are taken care of. If the employees in the organization are not taken care of, how do we serve the shareholders? How do we serve the society at large? There are organizations which go beyond their annual goals and do lot of social work beyond the budget that was kept aside. Within the CSR Act, there is certain budget that needs to be kept for social work, for contributing to various NGOs, etc. But the organizations go beyond that. Now, if organization wants to do a good work for the society at large, and also make sure that the investors are happy, shareholders are happy, what needs to happen is that the employees are taken care of. When employees are taken care of, they will be productive, they will do good work, and in turn, what happens is that everybody is happy. The stakeholders are happy, shareholders are happy, employees, not only are they happy, but they also make good money out of it, right? Because they also earn we all work for money, right? But of course, it's a different thing that there are employees who have their ikigai. They know their ikigai, right? That I am contributing to employees' lives indirectly by being in this profession of human resources, by being in this profession, by having this profile of talent management or culture or organization development. I am contributing to people's lives. So if the organization takes care of me, I can do this work all the more enthusiastically with a lot of motivation. Yeah. Are you getting the crux of talent management, everyone? Yeah. I think that's what is important. You may remember by heart all the definitions that may be there in the book, but it's also important to understand that everything happens properly. Okay, so which means that there are no vacancies in the organization. If there is a critical resource who leaves the organization, do I have a fallback plan in place to make sure that the vacancy is filled immediately, or I have a plan to make sure that it is either there is someone within the organization who takes over that position, that is succession plan, or I hire. I have a talent acquisition plan in place. You understand how these are all linked? So either I have a talent pipeline in the organization, whether you call it succession planning or you call it whatever, or you call it talent pool, right? Do I have a talent pool in place which provides me a replacement for the person who has left the organization, or do I have the resources, the bench strength in place which makes sure that the person is replaced immediately without any damage to the productivity, overall productivity of the organization, and whatever goals the organization might have. So everything, every system, every process, every sub-function within human resources talent management is linked to each other. If one does not function properly, then the other gets hampered, right? So if I don't have a strong talent acquisition policy, process, strategy in place, what is going to happen? I will have vacancies, I will have wrong people for the various jobs. If I don't have a good talent engagement policy in place, not only policy, but on the ground, how am I doing my talent engagement properly? If I'm not doing my talent engagement properly, then employees might feel disengaged and they may start looking out. It's easy for competitors to, pull out your people of the organization. If somebody disengage, it's very easy for that person to quit that organization. So your talent engagement or the employee engagement needs to be strong. Do you see the interconnection within the various aspects of talent acquisition? Aspects of talent management. Making sure that you have the right talent acquisition strategy in place. Do I need to hire somebody, or do I build the talent within the organization? I build the talent within the organization, meaning, do I hire freshers and train them, or I hire laterals, or I hire people with experience? That's the call that one needs to take. And for talent acquisition strategy to be successful, there needs to be a lot of homework that needs to be done, a lot of planning that needs to be done to understand the entire ecosystem in the organization, to understand what kind of employees do we need, to understand, one needs to have good understanding of the business. Talent acquisition resources need to understand the business, what kind of business we are into, what kind of products we have, and for me to serve those businesses and products, what kind of resources I need. Once one has the entire good understanding of human resources, one will be able to serve the organization by having right strategy. Buy or build. Build meaning hire junior resources and train them. Or I take laterals, experienced people, and who will become productive from day one. So that's a strategy, and one needs to know which one will work where. If there is a very, very critical function, if I need somebody senior to head a function, a junior will not help there. Or if it's a very critical, very different kind of function, let's say actuary or underwriting, it will not help to get a fresher there. Right? So it's also important to understand what kind of job role it is. So talent acquisition, beyond the textbook definitions, it's very important. It's a very, very critical function in the organization. And most people may not give that kind of importance to this function. But this is extremely important function, which takes care of the, the way the organization functions, in making sure that the business functions smoothly. Talent acquisition's contribution is very, very high. Yeah. So talent acquisition, any questions as far as the talent acquisition is? Yeah, Advani.
Yes, basically my question on talent management basically is, how how does one really, like, of course, there's, like when you do training, there's a training need analysis and there's training need identification. So when we talk about talent management, how does that start? From what kind of an base does it start from?
Okay. So,
So how do you, basically, question is like, from what I'm trying to understand is, how do you kind of, you know, what kind of data do you have that really generates and tells you, okay, now is it a good time for talent management, or there's a good time for talent attrition or retention or development, all that stuff?
anyone wants to answer this question? Anybody? When do we start?
Chandruji, can you please repeat? Chandruji, can you please repeat?
So basically, my question was, how do you analyze, from where does it start? Like the whole thing, talent management itself, as to how do you analyze when is a good time for this talent management to happen, or when you see the attrition or the retention or the development. So the whole process.
Yeah. I got it. See, what I personally feel, or even what I have experienced, is the documentation of HR. Whether HR is human resources, whatever the total employees are there, whether any organization is documenting them, whether it is maintaining the proper data of theirs in whatever format or something. My personal experience or my personal practice, I should say, whatever I have followed in so far my any assignment, whether I was a branch manager or I was a programmer or I'm a trainer, whatever, the people working with me in my department or in my office or in my branch office or maybe. So I do keep the data of those people right from their date of birth, their qualification, their technical qualification, for how much tenure they are with the department, when they enter the organization, what are their future plans, in a single line. In the first day of my joining, I have this practice of maintaining this data as far as I am concerned. What I feel is that every HR department or every in our organization, we call it personnel and industrial relations department, P&I department. So they also should maintain all these kind of data. I think they are not maintaining. And that is the reason why they are not able to do the succession planning in proper format. They are not able to do what you are asking how they are doing or they are not doing. But the companies who don't fail, organizations who don't fail in these kind of activities, I think they must be maintaining the data of their employees in the proper format. Thank you very much.
Okay. Anyone else wants to attempt answering?
Can I try?
Yeah, please.
Sorry, my net connection is not very good. But then again, in my perception, I have something different to share. In my working experience, talent management even starts from the beginning when we are actually attracting talent, and then their induction in the organization and their performance management, and then preparing them for the better role. So talent management is the entire thing, even when the candidate has not joined the organizations, attracting talent to retain them until they can be made for a leadership position. They can be part of succession planning. They can lead the organization at a leadership role. The entire employee life cycle comes under talent management from the very beginning, from the very first day of the candidates when he or she is joining the organization. That's a big thing. And data management is something different. For that, we do have HRMS systems, in organizations. And HR operations from the very beginning, they are very apt to collect all the information and keep it in a proper way so that data management can be done. But talent management is something different from data managing. So those are two very different vertical as per my understanding.
Are you happy? Arwani, you got some idea? Are you happy? Or you? I will anyways speak after this, but just want to know whether you got your answer. No.
Yeah, well, basically,
Madam, we would like to know from you as to what organizations actually practice.
I will.
Whether, yeah.
I will, but I just wanted to know, your understanding of it. So, Advani, like I said in the beginning, it's the entire ecosystem. It's not the bits and pieces and components that you can. Talent management, when you look at all sub-functions within human resources in the entire team, as a smooth flow, it's a talent management, right? Now you will still have talent acquisition team. You will still have a team which takes care of employee engagement. But talent management team will make sure that, there is a smooth functioning of everything. So for example, if I have to know what are the skills and competencies that the talent acquisition team needs to hire for, that's the work the talent management team does. Now, if talent management team is not there, is it that the recruitment is not happening? The recruitment is still happening. So we can't say that talent management, when do we start talent management? It's always there. It's always there, right? It's just that how deeply are we doing the work, right? Now, in an organization where talent management team does not function, you may have recruitment working in isolation. वो खुद अपना कुछ काम कर रहे हैं, hire कर रहे हैं. You have an engagement team, वो अपना खुद का काम कर रहे हैं. Nobody is working in a very cohesive manner, right? Now, for example, talent acquisition may, there is some position to be hired, for example, okay? And talent, whoever is the hiring person, the recruiter will have some JD, and he or she will hire as per that job description. Let's say that team leaves, let's say head of recruitment leaves, or somebody from whoever was a recruiter leaves, some other person comes in, might, the job description might change, or, the way you hire might change. What talent management team does is creates a competency framework or the skills framework. These days, there is a lot of emphasis on the skills. Right? There are organizations who are moving to completely skills-based organization. We should have data bank of all skills in the organization. Everybody, for example, Advani works in a hospitality industry. What are the skills as a salesperson does he bring? And if we were to move to, let's say, talent management tomorrow, whoever replaces Advani, what should be the skill sets? Has your organization identified what are the skill sets required for Advani's position? That's the work the talent management team does. Creating whether the competency framework, some people call it competency, some people will call it capability, some people might call it skills. Do we have a database of all skills in the organization? That's the work the talent management does. Now, without a talent management person or a team, what will happen in smaller organization is that all the work is happening. ऐसा नहीं कि काम नहीं हो रहा है. Recruitment, talent acquisition is happening. Engagement is happening. Maybe they are doing some sort of succession planning also. So the work is happening. It's not that talent management आके कुछ करेगा. No. Just that we are looking at, when we are saying talent management, we are looking at the entire ecosystem. We take kind of, you can say, helicopter view. Have I made sure that so let's say there are 5 or 6 levels in the organization or grades in the organization. Have I catered to the training needs of each grade? Of course, L&D team, training team will be there. But making sure that, सबके लिए कुछ ना कुछ कर रहे हैं हम लोग. Some people might need mentoring, some people might need coaching, some people might need skills training. Some people might need a leadership development. So talent management framework or talent management grid, or we may call a kind of a data bank which will give you an idea about what is needed for each level, what is needed for each role. That is the kind of exhaustive work the talent management will do. Is it that without calling, if there is an organization where you do not have a person called talent management, or you do not have a team called talent management. Is the work happening? The work is still happening. But in a bigger organization, it becomes very difficult for you to manage thousands of people unless you have a proper framework or proper structure. Yeah, does that answer your question, Advani?
Yeah,
And data,
yes, it does. Yeah,
you need to have data. We need
correct.
to have performance ratings of all employees in place. We will need to
Right.
have all the profile, talent profile, job descriptions. सबका चाहिए रहेगा, right? We will need to have job descriptions of all people in place. We will need to know हर position के लिए क्या skill requirement है.
Right.
No?
Right. Yeah.
And if it is not there, that's the job of talent management person who will start doing it if that's not there.
Correct.
Making
Correct.
sure without that, without the basic foundational work, without the basic data in place, we will be doing some work without really very solid background. Yeah? It's easy. Let's say I will talk to some people. It's kind of a reactive approach where, suddenly I am asked to do something. I will suddenly have a meeting and decide, acha, ye karna hai. But how about doing everything in a very systematic manner where I make sure that I have the required data and I have all the things that are required to be done. I have everything in place so that then I can start working on various interventions, whether training program is required, whether mentoring is required, whether coaching is required, or whether something else is required for a person. Whether the person needs to be sent for a fast track development program. All that is easy for an organization to manage when we have the data bank of all people in place. Yeah? Advani?
Right. Yes, I got that one. Yes, thank you. So basically, what I just wanted to also emphasize over here, because what's happening is in our organization, I'm talking about my organization where we're working, because as we have a big diversity, we have a lot of inclusion, and we have a lot of people from different culture and different backgrounds. So what is happening in our organization is basically we have two different what do you call entities, as we call. So we have a shore side entity, we have an onboard entity. So onboarding entity, what happens is generally everything is all the data is already provided to them from the shore side. So there's the HR per se is only more functional than strategic.
Organization
So what is I'm basically working for Royal Caribbean International, RCI.
Sorry?
Royal Caribbean International.
Okay.
RCI. So we have our head offices in Miami. So basically, what happens is everything is handled by our shore side talent acquisition team, and we just get feeded with the information, and then we get these employees that are selected that come and work in our department. So basically, onboarding, what happens is like we have people from other departments trying to enter into our department, because they find our department more, easy functioning based wise, and job wise as well. Though that's not the case, but that's how they perceive it, you know. So we have to set expectations with them, and then we have to, align everything together and make sure that they understand before they actually apply for the position in our department, you know. So, but what my question here is, we generally have, like when we talk about selection process, we have a lot of bad selection happening in our department. So when we're hiring these people or when we're acquiring the talent in our department, we have a lot of bad recruiting happening. So what happens is generally we these employees, they're working in other departments like F&B department, housekeeping department, or any of these kind of departments. And then when they apply for our department, we set the expectations, but then sometimes it ends up that the selection process is not right. So how do we analyze the talent management process for that matter?
So if the bad hire happens, it's not the HR that is responsible for it. That's the line manager who's responsible. Whichever department has asked for a resource, that department is responsible for bad hire. Most of the times HR gets blamed, but who gave the position? Was the position defined well? And the final selection also needs to be done by the requester department. Okay, so HR might do initial interviews, screening of the CVs, first round. The technical round needs to be done by the requester department. The final interview also needs to be done either by the skip level manager or the department head of that department. So HR is just the facilitator, or who smoothens the entire process. They will make sure that the sourcing is done well, making sure that the various sources for recruitment are tapped, whether it is consultants, whether it is internal referral, advertisements, whether it is LinkedIn or job portals or whatever. Making sure that the CVs come from all kinds of right sources is the job of the talent acquisition team. But making sure that the good candidate joins is the responsibility of the person who's giving the request, and not the HR department. HR department will make sure that the CVs come to in the right quantity. And it's not the quantity also, it's the quality of the CV that's important. Have you given the brief properly? Many times, the line managers don't have enough time, or they don't they don't give a right explanation of the profile. Sometimes the HR person or the talent acquisition person may not take the understanding properly about the position. There can be a gap. So what is expected and what is mentioned on the in black and white, there might be difference. Or what is expected and what is understood by the hiring manager might be different. So it is important for both parties to make sure that there is no gap. Whoever is giving the request needs to make sure that the hiring manager understands the job well. We all the time we keep saying कि HR को business समझना पड़ेगा, HR needs to spend time, but I feel also that the business people also needs to make sure they need to spend time with HR people, explain them how the business runs, what kind of positions are there, and what kind of people they need. In my experience as an HR business partner, several years ago, I have seen that unless I understand the business properly, unless I spend time with business people, I will not be able to do any job well. Anything in the organization, whether it is engagement, whether it is talent acquisition, or whether it is anything else. So it is important that both parties spend time with each other, get good understanding of the position, and then start hiring. Sometimes we just jump. Because इतना प्रेशर है हायरिंग करने के लिए कि अभी मुझे 8 दिन में बंदा चाहिए. That's the kind of pressure sometimes the talent acquisition team faces. Sometimes people approach the talent acquisition team saying, kal chahiyega banda. That's the kind of urgency that that's there. So then people succumb to pressure sometimes, and then the bad hire happens. And bad hire happens also because sometimes the business people feel that nahi, mere ko gap nahi chahiye. The earlier person has resigned, there is a 1 month gap, and after 1 month I need one person, or few days before that 15 din mein I need person, and then they will compromise on the quality. Okay, I'll be okay thoda sa, if there is a gap between my expectation and the person and the actual requirement, but I don't want the vacancy. That's also a great hurry that some people show, and which is why then you will end up hiring wrong person. If there is a bad hire, you need to investigate where is the problem, where is the gap, whether the requirement that was given, are there issue, were the requirements given properly, has the hiring person been briefed properly, who's interviewing, whether the person who's interviewing has the required skills to interview, and who's the final decision maker. is that person putting pressure and say, "Jo milega usko le lo," or is willing to wait for 3 months to get the right person? So you need to investigate and see where is the problem and take action, take steps. Yeah, is that right?
Makes sense. Makes
Okay.
sense.
Jagannath, you want to say something? He has raised his hand.
Yes, two things I wanted to ask. One is about the 9 boxes grid as mentioned in the study material, depending on the performance and potential. We were told that it is meant for the succession planning. That is first thing. So what about that? Second question is what we have done in our organization last year was the staff audit. They conducted a staff audit saying that कि कोई भी department में कोई बंदा है या बंदी है post की है and how much they have performed during the last year in quantitative terms. Now, when the training department is concerned, then they consider ki how many agents have been trained, how many development officers have been trained, and so on and so forth. We also have the staff formula. If for a particular kind of department or particular kind of branch office, depending on their business or volume and so on, how much is the requirement? That also we do have. But somehow, what I actually experience or observe in the organization is there is totally unequal distribution of work. So, how to tackle this kind of problem? Now, this may not be the leadership problem or means succession planning problem, but somehow we are not able to deploy people properly. So, what could be the solution for that? Thank you very much.
Okay. 9-box grid is something we will take next time because we don't have time now. We have just half an hour. So I would rather spend time in getting the basic clarity on various concepts today. And next time we can cover the 9-box grid. Deployment of resources for various positions, is it? Deployment of people who are fresh hires or deployment of people who are experienced, or what exactly is the issue?
No, already people working in the branch offices, working in offices, departments, and so on. What I observed personally, even I was a branch manager, and I also did find at that time also that some departments are understaffed, some are overstaffed, and you can't regulate these kind of things. It means again it depends on the productivity of different persons, so on. But even if we average it out, it becomes difficult. What could be the solution? Whether the staff audit could be the solution, or maybe the work formula could be the solution, or how to do this kind of thing. That's what I want. After some, say, mechanization of processes, definitely there will be the paucity of work itself. Then when the work is not there, why the workforce is required, isn't it? But how to convince people that now you don't have the work and you will be required to remain idle, sit idle, and then the further modifications are required. It becomes very difficult typically when it is a public sector organization. So how to tackle this kind of problem from this talent management point of view? That's what my question is.
So basically making sure that there are dashboards published, manpower data published on a periodical manner. Who's the boss? I mean, the reporting manager will make sure that there are no gaps, or there is no excess, or there is no scarcity, right? Or there is no mismatch in the required skill set and the actual skill set. So if there is a reporting manager and the skip level manager who knows that there is a problem, they should be able to manage it. It's very simple. There is no rocket science required. Every monthly there is a data published. Making sure that the MIS is very solid, and making sure that if there is this kind of problem, every department will have a function head, right? Function head is answerable to the CEO or MD of the organization. It can't happen that there is a problem with deployment and everybody is keeping quiet. Then there is drastically something wrong with the organization. If the top guy doesn't talk about it, then who will talk about it? Then it's a happy situation for everybody. It's not a talent management problem. It may be a culture problem. Having excess people or less people or the mismatch of people may not be a talent management problem. Talent management problem can be easily addressed. You do audit, or you make sure that there are monthly reportings happening on the manpower in the organization. So every time there is a check-in, every month there will be a meeting where the superior asks the subordinate, what is the manpower in your department, what is the exact requirement, and how many have been deployed. So it need not take a years for one to rectify this issue. The moment there is a problem, it should be highlighted. So in a bigger organization, there will be MIS function, right? Whether you do tracking of the productivity, number of manpower, number of people versus the productivity. That's one of the other things that that can be tracked. And the business, it's the business head. I don't know in your organization how it is tracked. In our organization, it's very clearly the business head who's responsible for the profit of the function, right? Profit of the business for which he's responsible for. Then he needs to manage the number of people in the department and the profitability. How is he managing both? Now, in a very large organization, there are not too many questions asked in terms of number of people, as long as there is a profitability. But he or she will also be answerable to certain questions, whether it is audit or whether it is the skip level manager who's asking those tough questions, right? So definitely all kinds of metrics in place, making sure that the productivity analysis is done properly. Yeah? If there is excess in some department and compared to that there is no productivity, then the question will be asked. Periodically there is a review, right? Every person needs to have goals in place, and then there is a review. The goals versus the productivity or the results. Whether the person has performed as per the goals. That's another question. So there are periodic performance appraisals or performance reviews that are happening. At lower levels, we don't really have monthly, but these days there are monthly calls at all levels. Nobody can skip. Continuously there are reviews happening. For mid-management level, there is definitely monthly review, where you keep checking how many people you have, what is the productivity, what is the outcome. And then there is 6-monthly or half-yearly review, and there is annual review. So one is that you have a MIS function or the data analytics function, which keeps providing data to the top management, which of course with red flag. Of course, they will give a red flag. If there is a problem, then of course there will be red flag. And then they will be questioned. So a business guy or a functional head can't afford to have mismatch or bad deployment or vacancies or overstaffing. It's just not possible in today's environment. Unless the public sector, there is no review. There is no review happening. There is no audit happening. There is no productivity tracking happening. कहीं ना कहीं तो पकड़ में आएगा. See, we in an organization we do 100 things these days, and this kind of problem will not escape. Either the MIS guy will catch it, or the audit guy will catch it, or the business head will catch it, or the CEO will catch it. It can't go on forever. It's questioned everybody, whoever is in the organization, in the department, what is the person doing actually? So I am assuming with the technology, with the modernization, mechanization, I'm assuming the public sector also will move in that direction. I don't know if it's still the case, but I hear a lot of good things that that they need to do a lot of work, and then there is no running away from work. That's the feedback I get from a lot of people from public sector, that there is huge amount of work, and it's as good as for private sector these days. But one needs to get to the root of the problem. What exactly is the problem and what can be done? Unless there is a lot of all the relevant stakeholders come together and do a brainstorming, it is not possible to find a solution. Unless the problem is very, very simple and with your naked eyes that you can see this is the problem, I'm sure it's easy. The solution is very easy.
Like you made mention about the survey, no? We do conduct monthly survey about the office upkeep. Means what the hygiene theory, as mentioned in many management theories, hygiene theory, whether the employer is taking care about the hygiene of the people. And even in many case studies, it has been mentioned that employer's outlook about his employees depends on how the toilets are being maintained in the office, employee toilets. So this is hygiene theory, some kind of thing. What comes to my mind is that there should be the survey of the work status monthly also, as to how much has been done by that particular employee, whether it is backed by data and so on. I think this kind of something, maybe not close supervision, but at least self appraisal, but monthly, not even quarterly or half yearly or yearly, but there has to be something called monthly or even maybe more frequent appraisal about employee that may solve this kind of problem. This is what I feel. As far as stake is concerned, definitely. As far as stake holding and stake is concerned, definitely that will be the there will be the ambiguity while we are working in the system called public sector. So, but it's okay. Thank you very much.
Jagannath, in private sector, we definitely have monthly reporting. There is no survey required because there is definitely the numbers speak for themselves. So there is a monthly reporting for business functions. There is a weekly review also. On a daily basis, the numbers are tracked. So it's in private sector, it's very difficult to miss anything. You know, I'm not sure.
What I always perceive is about the stake. What stake the decision makers have got in the typical organization, whether they have stake only up to their remuneration, or whether they are looking at the big picture, and that whole makes the whole difference. That's what I personally feel.
I think it's the culture change. I think it's the culture that needs to change. Everything else is easy. It's the mindset that needs to happen. Everything else is, trust me, is very easy. कितना भी surveys कर लो, कितना भी analysis कर लो, it's finally, do we really want to make change happen? Is important. Right. I think we will do nine box grid next time because it's a big topic. I want to spend a little bit more time on it, not in the sense of nine box itself, but understanding it from the overall perspective of talent management. Yes, sir.
Yeah, sure. I found it very interesting, but 9 boxes theory, and when learned it actually, in the first reading, I was a little confused, but when I learned it with a deeper thought, then I found it much interesting. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Advani.
Yeah, sorry, just wanted to request also when we do talk about the 9 box, I just wanted to maybe not the same session, maybe a different session. We can just run through the understanding of the framework, talent management framework.
Okay, talent management framework was covered. The others can tell me if it was covered. Can someone confirm? Can't hear anyone.
To the best of my understanding, I don't think it was, because I didn't see any when I heard the recording. I didn't hear anything about the framework, so just wanted to request you on that.
I can see Sunil, so I can ask him. So it's very easy to ask because he's on the camera. Sunil, was it covered?
I missed the session, so I don't know.
Okay. What about Jagannath?
Sorry, I couldn't get.
Is the talent management framework covered?
Framework, actually, like as told last time also, the whole syllabus is complete actually by Madam Dr. Poonam Jindal Pradhan. But of course, she discussed the case studies also as well. And I think the portion is over. The booklet is complete. If we go by the booklet, study material that has been provided to us, of course, I found it very tiny because I completed the reading in, I think, the minimum period I could complete that. But anyway.
The question was something else, whether the talent management was covered.
Talent management framework, you said, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, framework, whether it is covered or not. I need to check my notes. Today I am traveling actually from the last night.
Okay. No worries, no worries. So if you see page 8, do you all have the book?
Yes,
Yeah.
Do you all have the book?
Yes.
Yeah. So talent management framework, what has been put here, and there is a lot of reading material on talent management in the book. You could go through it. But there is a talent management framework, there is talent management model. I can see integrated talent management model also. Then there is talent management software, but framework is there on.
Madam, just a thing, madam. You can review the every module, no issue. But the last module, very quick manner that has been that was finished off. So we can concentrate on that last module to some extent, and other module we can revise.
We will do it next time, Biswadeep.
Okay, madam.
Model. So Advani, 1.3 in the book, I can share the.
Yeah, I have it open over here.
You have it open, right? I can share it.
But I just want to want an understanding on that framework, because it's a lot of things in there which, if I just read through it, it's fine. But I just want some better understanding on the framework.
So basically, it talks about the entire ecosystem, right, Advani? So if you see right from the time it has started, so HR systems and metrics on one side, compensation on the other right-hand side. On the top, it's talent strategy and planning, and at the bottom, you have learning and development. How does the entire system work in the entirety? How do we have synergy into everything that we do, right? So for example, the talent strategy needs to talk to business strategy. It needs to be aligned to business strategy. If my business strategy is something else and HR department decides to do something else, it's not going to work, right? So how do we align with business strategy? That's one. So which is why you will find the business strategy and critical talent strategy. Then we have talent target metrics and measurement, process governance, system strategy. So there can be various ways you measure the impact or effectiveness of various things that you do, right? So there are many organizations who run the engagement surveys. So when we say talent metrics or measurement, how do we measure the impact of any system in the organization? So you run surveys. So earlier it would be very clearly called job satisfaction survey. Now then it changed to engagement survey. Then people call it something else. There is Gallup. There are a lot of surveys in the market. So year on year, is the score of the talent engagement going up? Is the indicator that your talent framework is working properly? Is the indicator that human resources function is functioning properly? So that also basically is a reflection of how the entire organization culture is. It's not only HR, but as an organization, how are we doing? So process governance, system strategy. So we need to have all systems in place, whether technology or other systems in place. Then we need to have all processes in place, policies, processes in place. So on top, you will find all of these things which are must. Then in between, you will find all the components. You have sourcing and recruitment, performance management, succession planning, and leadership development. These are the various things within talent management that you do. Then we have what are the other things that you do? We have the skills matrix or the competency matrix. Then we have job profiles. We have values in place, right? What are the organization? What do we want employees to imbibe in? again competencies, right? So functional competencies, leadership competencies. And then, cutting across all of this is L&D. We have learning across. Then you do various kind of learning, basic skills training to everything. Okay, so let me just give me a moment. You have all of this? You have this, right, in your book?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So this is what I was talking about. Your all HR systems, metrics, your all the systems, whether you have HRI system or you have the L&D system that you have, the learning platform that you have, all the skills matrix in the organization, the strategy, everything put together needs to work in a very smooth manner as an ecosystem. That is what it talks about. Advani, do you understand? I mean, I hope you have got clarity.
Yeah, no, I'm just looking at the framework. I'm trying to make sense of it, is from where it starts and how it progresses.
Yeah, did you get the clarity or you still unsure about it?
Still a little bit unsure.
So there is.
So because from what I see over here is the talent strategy and planning, as you said correctly, that the strategy, the business needs to talk to the HR. So that's on the top level. And then you have the compensation on the other side. And then you have the metrics on the other side. So basically the system that you have, what kind of the surveys that you've done. So that comes on the other side. So from
Advani,
what
this is from this is from Bursin and Associates. The author has taken this framework from Bursin and Associates. Any other author might put the framework in a different manner. He might put something on the right and something on the left. That's not important. What is important, what I'm trying to tell you is, this is the entire ecosystem of talent management. It needs to work in a very cohesive, systematic manner. We need to have right salary, right compensation for the right position. And then only people are going to stay in the organization. So retention is another important aspect of talent management, which is why you will find compensation on the right. Someone might put compensation on the left. So what is important is that HR systems and metrics, whether it is a learning platform that you have, whether you have the HRMS system that you have, those systems, all the metrics, what is it that I want? It starts with business strategy, of course, but is it that now, let's say for your organization, that has been existing, let's say for several years, or let's say Jagannath's organization, let's say it's existing for 100 years. I don't know how many years it's existing. Is it that we start from zero? No. We don't start from zero, right?
It is 1956, since it is from 1956, and right from non-computer era to up to the biggest technology user era. But still, okay.
Yeah. So 65, 67 years now, still so far. Is it that we start, if we have to do a talent management in an organization which is very old and let's say which has thousands and lakhs of employees, where do we start? If you ask that question, it starts at the strategy level.
No, if at initial stage, if the people are aware of, then yes, it should be started from the day one. But जब जागो तब सवेरा, मतलब अभी भी शुरू कर सकते हैं if they really want to do. But my organization actually had done this kind of exercise, what you are mentioning. Maybe around 10, 12 years ago, they did tie up with IIM Ahmedabad and for the development of future leaders. The organization did invested a good amount of money. They trained almost 250 officers across the country. But again, what is typically expected of public sector, the whole turned into fiasco, and it didn't work actually. Or maybe the organization could not handle this whole process or whole exercise. But yes, the visionary leader at that time, he actually thought of it, implemented it, but somehow it could not lead to its desired results. But anyhow, the thinking process was there. Thank you.
So, Advani, it becomes little difficult for non-HR people to really visualize and really imagine what must be happening in HR. You know, so it's difficult. I understand that you might be finding it difficult to understand कि कहाँ से शुरू करें, right? Unfortunately, many organizations hire HR people very late. तो कहाँ से शुरू, आधा डैमेज होने के बाद HR को हायर करते हैं. So it's a question itself is wrong actually. Where do we start? Wherever you are, start. शुरू करो. That's important.
Don't wait till the last.
Most people don't start only. They don't even understand that they need to make some beginning. They need to do something right for the human resources. They need to do something for their they need to develop their people. They need to spend on employees. कहीं से तो शुरू करो, but शुरू करो. You want to start training people, start training people. You want to correct the compensation of employees, want to make it market friendly, want to make sure that employees have the correct salary, do that.
Right.
कुछ तो करो, but शुरू करो is my mantra. So system नहीं है, 10,000 employees है.
Your mantra has been accepted.
There are many organizations which has, let's say, 5,000, 6,000 employees. Basic HR system नहीं है. भाई शुरू करो कहीं पर तो.
That's true.
Yeah, so that means you don't have a system. There might be an organization which has 10,000 employees which doesn't have any survey. They need to have, because how will you know how these 10,000 employees feel? Generally, bigger organizations don't have this problem because they have to have surveys and data in place. But it's these mid-sized organizations and smaller organizations which hesitate spending money. You know, you were small and suddenly you have become big. You have got funding, and then you suddenly realize कि अरे ये problem है, वो problem है. But then is it really a problem? Unless you spend on human resources, it's difficult. It's really, really difficult unless you spend on human resources. And organizations need to understand when you're spending on human resources, it's spending on itself. Because they are going to contribute to profits. They are going to profit to the top line and bottom line. They are going to contribute in making the organization successful. So it can be overwhelming. The framework can be overwhelming. Read each part of the framework, Advani. That would be my request to all of you. And you will find that everything you are aware already. Just sir, इसको एक box में डाल के दिखाया. You are aware, isn't it? Aren't you aware of recruitment? You talked about bad hiring, so you are aware. You are getting increment every year, so that means performance management hai. Succession planning, somebody is retiring, your manager might have already decided who's going to succeed in the next role. Small organization, big organization, some form or the other succession planning will be there. Leadership development, sending employees to some leadership development program. Whether you do conduct 1 day program, 2 days program, or you send some people to some bigger university or institute for a 8 days residential program. It doesn't matter. Or you conduct 1 year of comprehensive leadership development program. When you are, let's say, you want to make these star performers the future leaders, then you will have to spend 6 months, 1 year with them. And it will mean you have to spend a lot of money. So which organization starts from which aspect of talent management framework? It depends on where is the organization currently at the moment. What stage of life cycle is the organization right now? And where are the employees in their life cycle? It needs to marry, right? And skills, many smaller organizations have created job descriptions. They have skills bank in place. Karna kya hai? You just have to list down skills of each role. It's not a rocket science. Rest everything else you are aware already. Business strategies, you know, vision, mission, values, and strategy that the organization has. And HR aligns with that business strategy. How do we contribute and say that we have the seat at the table and we say that, okay, we will also contribute towards business strategy. And we make sure that the talent management that we do in an organization contributes towards that strategy.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah, so don't get overwhelmed by framework. The word framework itself might be scary, but it is not.
I just would like to add one thing, Advani ji. फॉर अब मतलब आप जैसे पूछ रहे हो ना कब शुरू करना है, कहाँ से शुरू करना है, आप इतना मतलब ये हम लोग एचआर पर्सपेक्टिव से हम लोग बताते हैं कि कोई भी एम्प्लॉय जब ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में आए उनके लिए सारा एचआर फंक्शंस अगर सही है तो फिर वहां से टैलेंट मैनेजमेंट आप कर लेते हो। जैसे उसके लिए उसका सैलरी ऑन टाइम हो रहा है, उसके लिए उसका परफॉर्मेंस मैनेजमेंट हो रहा है, उसके लिए पॉलिसीज सही है, उसके लिए कोई एजुकेशनल स्कीम है, उसके लिए लीडरशिप लेवल में उसको जाने के लिए उसका ट्रेनिंग डेवलपमेंट हो रहा है। तो ये सारी चीज अगर पैरेलली हैंड टू हैंड हो रहा है ना तो फिर टैलेंट मैनेजमेंट है। उसको सिर्फ आपको प्रॉपरली फ्रेम करना है। यू नीड टू स्ट्रक्चर दैट, otherwise every system is there. I mean, whenever the organization is running, this system must be there, otherwise the organization cannot run, because organization runs on manpower only. So ये सारी चीज होते ही है अपने सारी जगह में, किसी जगह में स्ट्रक्चर्ड वे में, किसी जगह में अनस्ट्रक्चर्ड वे में। तो स्ट्रक्चर करना टैलेंट मैनेजमेंट फ्रेमवर्क होता है।
Thanks.
Who was that, by the way? Sorry, I missed.
This is Oindrilla.
Oindrilla. Right.
Starting off talent management, there is a different two aspect. What is it as per my best of my knowledge? First of all, there is a need base wherever management is required to develop, or whether there is a not expected result is not coming. So there they can plan. And apart from this, wherever the manpower is there and they need to improve them, or to provide or to create the next level of talent pipeline. So both of the cases, the company anytime or any of the organization can start their talent management. And Indira ma'am just said rightly, what is I am to much extent I am with the same opinion, though the organization has each and every organization is running with that manpower itself. So without manpower, no organization can run. So if there is a manpower, though definitely there would be a talent management. Because companies always always thinking about this growth. The growth is only happen with the progression of talent or supply of the talent. So that's it, ma'am. Thank you.
Right. So next time we will do 9-box grid that looks like the one which is was playing on Advani's mind. I think the 9-box grid also playing on some people's mind. So we will do that next time for sure.
Yeah, it is a common topic for understanding, ma'am. We all would like to understand the same. I do believe. I mean, in the same batch.
Yeah, it's we will have that understanding and we will cover that next time. Is there anything else that you want to do next time? Of course, I think we can keep taking, like, for example, we talked about talent acquisition this time. We talked about talent management framework this time, and few other questions we could also.
I also would like to understand how organizational development and talent management are, I mean, dependent or overlapping functions. These two are, how they are related with each other.
Sure.
Ma'am, I would like to add something. So, based on your experience and whatever the organizations you have seen. So we would like to have that experiential touch. What kind of trends are available in the talent management and how the organizations are moving toward the futuristic talent. So it would be great if you add your experience in that. Thank you.
Sure, we can talk about it next time. Yeah, but my request to you would be to consistent, and otherwise I'll have to introduce myself next time also.
No, we will be finding the same cohort. We all except Advaniji, I believe we were all there last time. Mona Lisa was also there.
Sunil was also not there.
Yeah, Sunil was not there. Yeah. Okay.
No worries. I don't mind introducing myself again. That's not a problem. The thing is that you will have gaps in your understanding. Right? We did whole lot of things and we spoke about whole lot of things, and someone was not there today, might have same question next time. That's the only problem. Otherwise, it's not a problem. I mean, we don't really have to worry about me trying to cover as much as possible. So as far as I am concerned, whatever I know, whatever I have experienced, basis my years of experience, I am willing to share with you. Not an issue. Right? So we'll meet next Sunday, 2 o'clock again.
Yeah,
and if you could spread the word, if you know some more people, I don't know how many of you have taken talent management, but if you could spread the word and tell others also to come, so that the session becomes enriching for everyone when there are more people. Okay.
Yes,
all right.
thank
See
you.
you tomorrow. See you next Sunday at 2 o'clock.
Thank
Yes,
you.
Thank you very
ma'am.
much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks. Bye.
Appreciate it. Bye.